So, you have a good idea for what your argument is going to be. But how do you gather the proper evidence to support your argumentative essay? In this lesson, you will learn how to collect evidence that supports your thesis by using a variety of properly cited resources. Let's review the steps for writing an essay. You want to start off with choosing a topic and then developing that into an argument. Then, you're going to have to go and find supporting evidence. A common mistake that writers make is that they have repetition due to lack of evidence, meaning they are just going to repeat the same thing over and over again in an effort to fill pages. So you make the point, then you say it again and again and again. What this does with the reader, it puts them to sleep. They're not going to be paying attention to what you have to say because it's boring to them. So that makes your argument weak. Let's not have a weak argument because of that. Let's look at the steps for creating an essay based on strong evidence. First, we're going to ask and list what type of evidence will I need to make a convincing argument. Then, we're going to select supporting evidence, and this can be a wide variety. We're going to read text, we're going to interview possibly, and we're going to search online. And then finally, we're going to jot down the citations so that no one ever accuses us of plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big thing. We want to guard against it, so we need citations in order to do that. So I'm going to start off here by taking a look at my thesis statement. And I'm going to go through a thesis statement and ask myself, what evidence will I need to make a convincing argument? Well, one of the pieces of evidence I could use is interviews with classmates. I know I've done that with other things. Then I'm going to go through my thesis statement here. How about statistics about the number of people affected? Medical information about the diseases caused? Amount of time spent looking for clean water? And news about efforts taken to find a solution. I might be able to use different types of resources like this. So let's see. I want to think about which of these might actually work. All right. Interviews with classmates, in some cases maybe, but probably not. Alright, and the others I might be able to use news sources, online searches, those types of things to find that information. I think those would work out. So now that I know the type of information I'm actually looking for, I'm ready to start looking. So maybe I can start with an internet search to find out about the people affected by unclean water. So what would I search? Unclean water facts maybe, or unclean water problems, but I did unclean water facts here and I came up with this information from different websites. So here I have a wide variety of information. So is that enough evidence? No. I'm going to want to continue to research because you can never have enough evidence. You want a lot to choose from so that way you can select the strongest evidence for your purposes. And if you notice, I also wrote down the full website because that's going to come in handy when we're ready to do our citations. So how do I use MLA format to cite sources I selected for use in text, meaning as I'm writing my essay? I use the website water.org, so in parentheses it's going to be water.org and so on and so forth. It's always important to ask your teacher as to what type of citations you're supposed to be using and the format. So how do I write citations for use in the work cited? Remember, this is all to guard against plagiarism. So using MLA, your citations should look something like this. But organization, alphabetical order is going to come in handy, so I'm going to resort these right there and have an alphabetical order. It's always important, once again, to ask or reference an MLA guide to make sure that you're doing this correctly. Let's review the steps that helped us get to this point. We're going to ask and list what type of evidence will I need to make a convincing argument. We're going to need to get supporting evidence by reading text, interviewing, and searching online. And jot down citation information for each piece of evidence to guard against plagiarism. And finally, in this lesson, you learned how to collect and choose evidence that will effectively support your thesis by using a variety of properly cited resources.